Australia. Joined now by Dr. Chloe Brimicombe, a climate scientist from the University of Oxford. Chloe, thank you so much for your time. You know, in June, the World Meteorological Organization warned us that there were going to be really high temperatures, a combination of climate change and the El Nino weather phenomenon, which is particularly brutal this year. Do you think those warnings made any difference at all?
Well, so the World Meteorological Organization's warnings were about weather that is going to occur later in the year, predominantly in the Pacific, and then into next year. But the warnings around warming were very much, I guess, not heeded in terms of we've seen a number of days of record-breaking temperatures in the UK and also different countries in Europe. So, for example, in Vienna, they recorded for the first time above 40 degrees Celsius in that particular city. And then in the UK, we're looking at this coming week, another month where we exceed 35 degrees Celsius, and that would be the first time in sort of recorded observations of weather that we've seen that. So it's a very concerning time for the extreme weather that we're seeing in the UK and Europe.
Do you think that these very high temperatures and, of course, the wildfires, which just break out so much more easily, are here to stay? Or do you think once El Nino subsides, and I understand it can take a couple of years, will things go back to slightly cooler weather?
So we know that this particular weather in Europe is occurring because of climate change. So we know that climate change and fossil fuels are driving an increase in the number of heat waves, the intensity of them, and the duration of them when they occur. So we will have had 5 heat waves in UK and other parts of Europe this summer coming up to this week. That might not be the last one that we see, and that's been a consecutive trend over at least the last 5 years in Europe. And coming on the back of that, we've also seen incredibly dry weather that's been long-lasting. So for over 50 days, there is a place in the UK near London that has had no rainfall. And that's on the back of the winter where we had 40 days of consecutive rain. So it's very concerning. And then the impacts of this are on sort of things like health, whether that's air pollution from wildfires, from excess deaths from heat. And also we're seeing this heat and drought having an effect on our crops at the moment as well, and farmers saying that yields are a lot lower than they expected, right?
What do we need to be doing? What do governments and communities need to be doing right now to make sure that we're better prepared?
I think it's just to do with long-term planning. A lot of the policy cycles are very fast, and actually if we had long-term planning for a transition to net zero and a more sort of resilient way that we put in place renewable energy, then, you know, actually we wouldn't be having some of the effects we're seeing right now, because extreme weather can be directly linked to the increase in greenhouse gases. So we wouldn't be seeing that, and so we need that in the future. What people can do right now is look out for one another, which I think we're seeing in a lot of cases. There's also a lot of solutions that we're seeing at a community level, whether this is like planting trees. In some communities they have hotlines for waves, for example, whether this is also to do with like things like this. Education, climate education is also very key in schools and other educational settings. So there's lots of great initiatives out there. We just need to roll them out and have them supported by long-term policy planning.